Hello, my name's Tom Cahill. This is the first of my videos in the BBAS Corruption background series of actual substance. I've done an introduction which is on 00.00, that's its reference. My name's Tom Cahill. I came to work for BBAS, that's Balfou Beatty Ansaldo systems, at the end of last year, and I quickly found they were trying to get me to put in place criminal tendering exercises, etc. It was very, very obviously corrupt, which I couldn't do, and then they started ripping me off, trying not to pay me. So that's why I'm making these videos right now. If you look at the link below, you'll be able to see that the source of this particular bit of information, it's www.2t.com.my, and it's an electrified double track project, IPO to Padang Besar, MMC Gamuda. It looks like MMC Gamuda has made this bit of information, but I'm going to put the link in the description, so I'm just going to read it out for you. Right, there'll be more of these, they'll just progress, but they'll be in the 00 point, this will be 00.01, because it's the first bit of background information. Right, so bear with me. Right, so project benefits: electrified double track project, EDTP, from IPO to Padang Besar will bring about socio-economic benefits to the overall economy and the nation as a whole. Rail is more efficient. 1. Rail is more efficient as it will reduce fuel consumption, less environmentally polluting, shorten travel time as well as being safer. 2. Transporting cargo by rail is 6 times more efficient compared to road, i.e. rail trains consume 80% less fuel than trucks, and for passengers, rail is 20 times more efficient. 3. Government currently subsidise 20% of the price of fuel sold to the public. As fuel consumption declines as a result of the higher rail usage, government will also be able to save on fuel subsidy at an average of Malaysian ringgit 710 million annually. EDTP, that's electrified double track project, would thus tap energy from the national grid, which currently has a reserve margin of 38%. Over 70% of the grid is currently powered by natural gas, which is much cleaner than diesel or petrol used in cars and trucks. Over-reliance on road. Need for rail. 1. Rail currently has a market share of just 3% compared to road transport, with 89% in Malaysia. Not surprising given the existing poor level of service. This over-reliance on unsustainable. For example, congestion on expressway during festive season. In developed countries, rail share is 30%. EDTP will transform KTMB services, allowing it to compete in terms of travel time, frequency, fares, reliability, quality of service and safety. Modern trains with heavier loadings can run on the flatter, straighter alignment at speeds up to 160 km per hour. For example, Kuala Lumpur to Butterworth, 390 km service can be increased from 2 trips a day taking 9 hours each way to trips every hour taking just 3 hours. A saving of 6 hours. Likewise, IPO to Butterworth, 180 km service can be increased from 2 days, taking 4 hours each way, to trips every hour, taking just 1.5 hours. A saving of 2.5 hours per journey. EDTP can also form the backbone for future commuter services in the northern area, similar to Klang Valley commuter services, that will allow for the development to be more dispersed as people working in cities can live outside. Better rail services will benefit lower income groups and rural communities. Reduced road fatality. Malaysia has one of the world's highest fatality rates. Rail is much safer and can save the country an estimated 400 million ringgits annually in road accident costs. EDTP to upgrade rail network. 1. 10 billion ringgits has already been invested in double tracking the Klang Valley and from Rawang to Ipoh. However, this represents just 30% of the whole network. Until the entire network has been upgraded, the full benefits will not be felt, and the potential of KTMB remains unfulfilled. Of particular importance is the Kedah line, accounts for 60% of KTMB's cargo. Traffic, including KTMB's land bridge service, plying Bangkok Port, claim currently KTMB hauled substantial cargoes like rubber from southern Thailand to Padang Port for export to the Far East. In fact, southern Thailand is geographically and economically more suited for export on rail via Padang Port. This has a parallel in the North-South Expressway, NSE. In 1989, only a 400-kilometre section, 30%, had been completed before Plus PLUS, in capitals, was given the job to build the rest of the highway. Traffic jumped fivefold and revenue eightfold when NSE, that's North-South Expressway, was completed in 1994. Socioeconomic benefits. 1. A cost-benefit study conducted by an internal consultant estimated that EDTP would yield an economic internal rate of return, an EIRR, that's economic internal rate of return, of 15%, above the benchmark 12% for transport projects. This EIRR assessment measures the economic benefits over the economic costs of the project at the national level, focusing on the long-term viability. Spin-offs to local services and industries will have multiplier effects that will greatly stimulate the economy, especially in the four northern states of Perak, Penang, Kedah and Perlis, where GDP growth will increase from 5.9% to 7.9% over the next 5 years. Right, that's the end of that. I'd just like to say these figures, I don't know where they've got them from. But ringgits, Malaysian ringgits, they're approximately like 6 times the value of a Great GBP, you know, like Great British pounds, right? So whenever you're trying to work out how much ringgit is, you know, in terms of pounds, just divide it by 6. Right. The other thing I would like to say is that particular project, whilst it's done by MNC Gamuda, that's MNC GAMUDA. That's not the actual project I was on, but it's all to do with this double tracking of the single track system, and including electrification on it and all the other things that go with it, like upgrading the stations. So hopefully you'll find this has been interesting. As I said, my name's Tom Carhill. My interest in this is the fact that I was working there, and there was lots of corruption on the job, and this is, you know, Balfou Beatty Ansaldo Systems. This is a t-shirt of that, and it's Sunday the 7th of September 2014. Get in touch with me if you have any information or if you'd like any more information. I'll be putting more information on this same YouTube channel about this particular series of crimes, and this was just a bit of background information just for people so they could listen rather than have to read it. And I'm going to seek out more information just to give people an idea of the background, you know, in a kind of non-controversial sense as much as possible, not with my spin. Thanks very much. Bye bye.